and welcome to another episode, a video episode from the Veg Grower podcast. So I'm on call this week, which means you get the inevitable tours. So I'll start with the allotment and then I'll come back and I'll show you what's going on at home. Well, you join me on the allotment today. It's very windy. It's been windy for the last few days. We've had a lot of rain in the last few weeks, so I'm going to take you on a bit of a tour around the allotment. But there's going to be a lot of weeds, I'm afraid, just because of how the weather has gone. So we'll start at the top here. I've actually been trying to clear out a few weeds in amongst this. There's a few more to go, but it's looking a little better. And then eventually plans will come twofold on there. These late tomatoes went in. They're looking pretty good. They've gone in. But the sweet potatoes, which are over the back there, have done really well. They've don't look like they've done much foliage growth, but it's what underground it really counts with those. But they're looking pretty healthy and growing well. A few beetroots, they're actually doing really well. Been picking a few of those each week now. That's good. And the broad beans, not broad beans, the Grandad's runner beans over towards the back there, they're flowering and stuff as well, so that's good. And carrots over there, they're doing okay. Not the best, but not the worst either. They're edible. All the potatoes over the back there seem to be doing okay. A little slow for my liking, but we'll keep an eye on those. Now these onions just here, they are all still growing, so I might treat those and see if they overwinter. They're still pretty green, so we'll see what happens on those. Then we got these leeks, they're just awesome, looking really good. I do need a good weeding though. Here I've got some of these champion onions, again a lot of weeds, but next week I'm going to dig all these onions up and give it all a good hoeing and sort that bit out. That bit there is just ready for hoeing as well, really. Digging over and hoeing. Tomatoes are doing awesome. I got a few tomatoes out of those. They're the Crimson Crush, and they're growing really well. A bit too well again, like a lot of my tomatoes this year. But yeah, pleased with those. Strawberries are there, they're doing pretty good. I've got a few more tomatoes. I haven't looked after these tomatoes as well as I should have in amongst this lot, but they're not doing bad. And again here, kale and cauliflowers, just the weeds. The weeds have been a real pain on this side this year. Well, the first year on this side. It's I've got to come up with another method of clearing these weeds. And that pumpkin there hasn't flowered yet, but it's growing well. That was a bit late to go in, but yeah, that's the top half anyway. I've wandered down onto the other half. It's globe artichoke. I've cleared out a lot of weeds there today, but that's kind of sweet potato and what have you, so I've got to come up with some sort of mechanism just to tie that in so it doesn't cause problems for others. These rhubarbs are really growing well. I've stopped harvesting them though, because that's what it is. This asparagus is doing good, but again I've stopped harvesting all that. The strawberries and the apples, I mean these apples are looking really good. Don't know if you can see them really that well. I've got quite a few there, like that one there, and there. So they should really do well when it comes to harvesting time, which it probably isn't all that far off. Jerusalem artichokes there are pretty good. Again, it's what's underground that counts. That slow bush it's a bit lost in the weeds, but it's doing okay. This elder bush has just really put on a lot of growth these last few weeks, so that may need pruning at some point. Comfrey there. Coming up to the pear tree, and my single pair. It's kind of difficult to see from this angle because of the sun. I don't think it's quite ripe yet, but it's a nice looking pair. That apple tree hasn't produced anything this year, but I don't mind that. Right, the Big Mac's pumpkin I showed you last week, the pumpkin that looked like it had been eaten by something that was down there. Well, that's completely got eaten and what have you, so that's gone now. But just down there we have another one, pretty well formed, and there's another one just there, so looking good. I've placed it to run along this bit of wood just to make life easier for strimming. I've got to find another one for this pumpkin I've got here, because there is a pumpkin just there. It's doing really well. Really pleased with the pumpkins. And definitely growing them in the compost heap like that is paying off. Peas have all died back, but I've got some more to go in at some point. That was a young in bed. I've cleared that today, I've hoed it, and I'll just let everything there rot down, keep hoeing it until the garlic goes in next month. Cabbages, they're doing pretty good there. You'll soon be harvesting some of those anyway. Probably a few cauliflowers to come too. More cabbages and kale, pretty well. And the sprouts, I've actually been harvesting a few sprouts lately. This is one I've been doing an experiment on. As you can see, there's more sprouts in there. It's my I grew this sprout plant last year, so it's in its second year and still producing. So I'm quite pleased with how that worked out. This is going to be the winter brassica bed. So there's a few more PSP kale and the Brussels sprouts in there. They're looking really good. That was the shallot bed, and that's empty and just going now already until it gets planted up again. This I think is a sunflower, but it's kind of got blown over in the winds. We've got some exceptionally high winds around here. These potatoes here are growing. I've been harvested some of those. I'll come to those later. Again, over there is just those raspberries are a bit of a mess, so they really need to sort those out, and a few things around there. But all these potatoes growing down here. But as we get down towards the end there, the potatoes are looking better down that end. Sweet corn there is really good. It's getting shot on in growth over the last few weeks, and we've got obviously on the top everything's the flowers and the corn on the bottom, obviously fertilised. Some of the tassels are starting to go slightly brown, but not quite ready. And these leeks are just doing awesome as well. These are the potatoes that are doing a lot better. And so I just dropped the mic. Over there is a courgette bush that has just done fantastically well. I'm hooked up on something, so bear with me. Yeah, that's better. That cider apple tree, as you can see, the wind's blowing that over again. It's not broken or anything, but I've got to hammer that into the ground. This grape I showed you last week is looking like it's really dead. I don't know what's happened to it, so I'll be keeping an eye on it and looking after it, see what happens. More, all those sort of things over there. Again, everything just needs a really good weed and a bit of attendance. More importantly, what I've harvested from here today, done fantastically well. All the red onions are up, and that's that huge pile there. There's some of the potatoes I've harvested, and we get out of the light. Not a huge amount from the amount of bags, but there's enough there for me and my wife. A couple of carrots, there's a decent beetroot. Tomatoes, they've done pretty good. pretty pleased with them. Courgette I've harvested today, and a load of French beans which have done really well this year. So that's really it for now. I'm going to throw you back into the potting shed. So that's the allotment. Everything's going well, pretty pleased, and things are taking shape. I've got a lot of work to do and a lot of work to carry on with, but I'm getting there. Let's take you around home where things are interesting, shall we say. We'll do that and then we'll come back and sign off. Well, excuse the rain everyone, but I'll take you on a tour of how the home plot is looking. And these are the herbs. They're well watered at the moment. They're actually doing really well. The soil there has really grown on well. So yeah, herbs, and they're being used all the time in the kitchen and on the barbecues and stuff like that. The raspberries here are just about done for, so I'll be able to cut those back soon, to be glad about. Get some room back in the path. That rhubarb has just gone mad as well. Let's have a look in the greenhouse, because things are really good in there. Tied back these tomatoes, and as you can see we've got a few that are just changing colour, nearly ready, and all so far so good. Same as here, we've got a few chilies in flower. Aubergines aren't doing much again. The Elustrous aubergines, always a problem for me. Cucumber flowers, cucumbers developing, although those ones there have gone yellow. They might have to be cut off. Kiwi down there is just doing well, as is a grapevine there. What I'm also really pleased about is, if I look just there, we'll zoom in, we've got a melon forming. First time I've actually managed to get a melon, so I'm pleased with that. Pleased with how these tomatoes are looking at the moment as well. Should be really good tomatoes. So yeah, that's all looking good. Right, it's back out in the rain. God, I'm getting fed up of this rain. I don't know about anybody else. Wind and rain has been bad this year. Right, a few Brussels sprouts I've just put down there to use them up. In here I've moved the seedlings. So far so good. I just got to remember to keep watering them. Here, now I've got a celery plant. It's looking pretty good. I've got a few more down here. And on all my little bushes and stuff that, excuse me, well watered at the moment and doing what they should be doing. Oh, look at the state of that, that's bad. Now I have to come off in a minute. That peach looks horrible. I don't know what's happened to that, but it looks like there'll be no peaches this year. And the blueberries there, just doing well. Here the lettuces have bolted here. Let's zoom in, you can see what I mean. Just there. So we'll get rid of that soon. But apart from that, a few weeds in there. Spring onions are doing well. Not bad. Rocket in here is looking pretty damn good as well. So, like that, we're being met by the girls. Yeah. I know, it's not nice weather at all today. It's not been nice weather for, well, the odd day. Let's get in here. So, these are plants that I've put up here. They're doing well actually. We've got getting a few little tomatoes like that one there. And we've got over here we've got a few chilies just kind of developing. Just like that one there, which is really good because it's just in time for Chili Fiesta, which I'm down to next weekend. West End Gardens. Tomatoes, I've been saying about the tomatoes, they've just gone crazy and like a huge giant bush. Now, I've probably put them a bit too close together if I'm honest, but what I was going to show you is what I mentioned before. Let's come down here. Right, see that there? There's several stems, and each of those stems have flowers on them and tomatoes forming, so but they've kind of taken over everything else. So I've definitely put them in too close together, which is a big lesson to learn. And because I've got a clay soil, the canes themselves, it's hard to get them down without breaking them, so I've probably got to work something out for that. And then we've had some strong winds lately as well, and they've really just blown a lot of these canes around all over the place. Pumpkin just there. The leaves are looking a bit yellow and what have you, but it's growing well. Can't really complain about that. Look at that. I think that's on the melon. Amazing. That's an example of the cane that got blown all over the place, but that is a cucumber climbing up there. Getting plenty of cucumbers at the moment, both snacking normal cucumbers. These tomatoes here, I've put them in too close, I know, are the Heinz ones. They're single stems, they're doing alright. Again, that's the several stems there of those red pears. Courgette there doing not much, just growing. And another one there, several stems of the red pears. Just mad how they've gone. And if I open in here, because girl chickens are looking to get in here, I've put in here a few of the plants, as you know, and they're doing pretty good. Yeah, they're growing really well actually. All these chilies, tomatoes, aubergines. Aubergines are really difficult to get any flowers from, I'm finding, or any fruit from, but I've had that trouble for years. Over here we've got the hydroponics kit, and yeah, that's doing well. Pretty happy with that. So that's good. So let's turn you around. Oh, that's where I'm just drying out all the onions and things. How I've got it all set up. Oh, right. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tour. It's a bit of a different one than my usual videos, but I try and do this once a month. If you're a new watcher, a new subscriber, thank you very much. I've had a few of those recently. I'm really pleased to see you come along. I love it very much. Don't forget to leave any comments and suggestions below, and I'll answer every single one. So thank you very much, and I'll see you all again next time.